So I want to be clear, the following video was entirely produced before the horrible events that have recently occurred on the platform formerly known as Twitter. I was completely taken by surprise by the ease with which people have dismissed the inundation of non-consensual pornography and child sexual abuse material being generated on an incredibly public platform. I mean, even with my awareness of the weakness of associative prediction engine Guardrails, that wasn't something I anticipated or even really considered being possible. So I want to say that because the discussion that I had primarily addressed the way in which this is going to impact development, and I refuse to let that go unsaid. That is something. It was horrific. It is horrific, and that it's still occurring is reprehensible. That it occurred in the first place is reprehensible. If you take anything from this, take into account that this is going to keep happening. You can't stop this within the APE architecture. You can only limit it. And evil people will take advantage of a technology like this, especially when met with a lack of interest in actually reinforcing what guardrails can be put in place. There's going to be a continued presence of non-consensual pornography and child sexual abuse material being created with these tools. And that should be something that needs to be talked about and needs to be addressed and needs to be, oh boy, there's, beyond everything I discuss in here, that is the number one issue. This following video mostly is going to discuss its impact on software development as a central theme. I can't not say this. I can't not put this before the video because this is so much more important than anything I say following this. I do recommend you watch this if you're a software developer, but nothing matters more than that. It's evil. And more than the dangerous stuff that can be done with software, there's no words for how important it is to be aware of and to act to prevent that. So, having said that, the rest of the video, I do still want to put it out there, but I recognize that it's a lesser concern. You can't put guardrails on associative prediction engines. This is a simple matter of the mechanics, because at the end of the day, what these devices do is non-deterministic, and it's not truly understanding something. This is something we've discussed in depth previously. You can watch my other videos. Long story short, there's no way in which what it's doing can be interpreted as actually understanding the language itself. These conceptual ideas don't figure in. They don't matter. We can't give it higher concepts. There's no comprehension. It's essentially piggybacking off of results that have been previously provided by human input-output responses. So, what it's not able to do is understand cruelty, kindness. It's not able to understand right. It's not understand wrong. It doesn't understand consent, doesn't understand any of this, because these are higher order concepts. These are things that require cognitive processing in a way that's not possible simply from saying this word is related to this word is related to this word. So when we say, for instance, don't reproduce non-consensual images of an individual, right? Don't reproduce sexual images or sexual stories about people who are underage. Don't reproduce violence. These are remote concepts. You can say, for instance, with some success, don't reproduce, say, blood. Don't reproduce a bat. You could even potentially say don't reproduce a weapon, because you can get some correlation there. But with each of those steps away from a specific one-to-one attribution, a one-to-one relationship, you're talking about a less and less successful guardrail. So, when we're looking at the guardrails that would be required to make something that doesn't produce unsafe images, unsafe videos, unsafe commands, unsafe behaviors, you can't get that with the modern concept, the associative prediction engines. You can't get that within the limitations of the systemic relationships that an LLM basis relies upon, can reproduce. So, given that, you also are going to run into inevitable issues with a bunch of things. You are going to require constant human intervention to prevent non-consensual pornography. You're going to require constant human intervention to prevent underage grossness. You're going to require constant human intervention to prevent security faults. And that's also a big one. None of these are something that you can translate without going one to one to one, the equivalent of having to hard code in a large number of direct relationships. And this would make the utility of an APE essentially nil. If you attempt to do this reproduce limitations that become more and more restrictive, causing the exact functionality that you're trying to achieve with an APE to be more and more crippled. Given this, the largest upcoming issue with APE development, with APE construction, with both commercial and general APE usage is both going to be a legal and, for us more importantly as developers, a security nightmare that is fundamentally unresolvable. Until this becomes a utility that isn't used explicitly in customer interfacing and in the process of development, prompt injection is going to remain one of the premier vulnerabilities throughout the upcoming years, and worryingly in the maintenance of package managers, both on an application level and when they automatically update libraries that are maintained by individuals who use this method of making applications. We've already seen this happen. It's already reproduced vulnerabilities in several different applications, and it's going to continue doing so, most likely at a higher and higher clip. This, frankly, should scare the shit out of you and is one of the biggest problems coming up. We're going to have to really be paying attention to the automatic updatabilities of our applications and the restriction of versions. And that's really going to have to become more and more strict the more pervasive its use becomes. We should always be conscientious about the maintenance strategies for our package managers, but the fact that it's going to have to be more and more and more incremental, strict, granular, this is going to be a big security concern in the next couple of years, and we really need to be thinking about that both in our own applications, even when we're not using APEs, and especially when we are using APEs to build an application that is available through a package manager. It's just another way in which we have to think about this that I'm just not looking forward to. There are so many consequences that we are just not considering right now. And I guess I don't have a cheery ending for you today. That's just frustrating.